Welcome to the Week 4 Thursday night football preview. We're looking at the Colts and the Patriots on Thursday Night Football here with Addy and Taylor. About to go down and look at our favorite plays on the slate, guys who we're considering a captain, all for the DraftKings Thursday Night Showdown, which, as you can see here, $250K first place prize, which is what we're becoming to get accustomed to here. But how are you guys doing today, Wednesday?
Doing good, man. Feeling good. Excited to break down this slate. Excited to start researching or finish researching NHL after we get done with this pod.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I don't know, watching the soccer, watching the game cast on it, sweating it for you guys and our members. I don't really play soccer all that much, but I saw that you guys just got your second Messi goal from an assist from Alba. So
yeah,
you guys
Addy pivoted to Alba.
Yeah, I pivoted to Jordi Alba. Yeah. Those bonuses are coming in, man. That shit shot me up to second in the 11, making like 3 bands or something. But now all these bonuses are in. I'm about to drop back down because I didn't get like any of them.
But yeah, Locks had Griezmann and Messi on both sides.
Oh, nice.
4 goals between them.
Yeah, that was sharp, man. Plugging them both in, that was super sharp.
A lot of people faded both, honestly.
Yeah, it felt like the proper roster construction, or like what most people were doing was picking one, and I think just jamming them both in such good spots. Like, I mean, Messi's spot wasn't great, but it's just Messi on a pretty, like, there wasn't many options on that slate for goal scoring, I felt like.
Yeah, for sure. But if you guys want to play soccer with us, obviously, Addy just mentioned NHL. They're on the site. We have all that stuff. I mean, I could pull up the site right now. Honestly, it's locksdfs.com. I actually can't pull up the site because my control bar is like in the way. But locksdfs.com, all the passes are there. You literally just go onto the store. There's a store tab, and then you go down and you pick the pass, and you have auto access. If you have any questions or anything about it, you can. I mean, obviously we have email, but more likely just get on Twitter at LocksDFS and send us a message, and we can answer any questions you have or anything like that. That's where our lineups will be posted, exactly what we're playing and all that kind of stuff for showdowns and all that. So with all that said. And also one more thing I want to say before we get into it. If you are watching this, if you have been watching these, make sure you like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. The subscriptions, I mean, again, you guys have given us a lot of really good feedback, all of you guys who have been watching, and we appreciate that. So let's go ahead and get into it. At captain spot, I think there's probably similar to the last one we looked at. Obviously, the quarterbacks are in play here at MVP. They're probably going to be on our rosters regardless. Actually, before we get into actual construction, Taylor, do you want to kind of run through some of the injuries? Because we were waiting on that to do this podcast.
Yeah, so we were waiting a bit to do this podcast. We were going to do it early, but we were waiting for the Wednesday injuries to come through. But Hilton was announced out. Doyle was announced out, which is big for Ebron. Hilton being out is big for like a bunch of reasons for Pascal, Rogers, Grant. And then also, who else was out? Marlon Mack was out, which means more Nyheim Hines, which is one of our favorite plays. Personally, it's probably my favorite play on the slate. Just points per dollar.
Nyheim Hines was a big preseason guy, a guy who's super athletic. I don't have his player profiler pulled up, so I don't know what his college was like. But watching him in preseason, watching him last week, and I mean throughout the season, he's a really, really dynamic player, and I think – when they get down, assuming they get down in this game, as Vegas projects them to get down in this game, I think he'll be in a lot. Anything else to talk about here? Josh, all these questionable. So you got Gronk questionable, Gordon questionable. Both should be good to go. So that pretty much.
And Edelman's
Patriot stuff listing everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, and Edelman's back.
Edelman's back from his 4-game suspension. He is 32 years old, and he is coming off an ACL injury that he missed all of last year with. So. Could be shaking off a bit of rust to begin the year, but definitely a crowded wide receiver corps for the Patriots. Kind of hard to target.
I'm assuming Edelman will be on some sort of snap count, right? Pretty strict snap count, right? I haven't read anything about it yet, but I'm assuming that's got to be out there. I mean, just like you said, 32 and coming off of ACL.
It seems like before we get into the slate, the way the best tournament strategy is going to be if you want to pick. Take a stand on one of the New England pass catchers like Gronk or Gordon. I wouldn't be picking on Gordon, but if that's what you want to do, if you want to pick Gordon, if you want to pick Edelman, those are going to be the guys who are probably going to come in low owned is what I'm guessing right now. Do you guys agree with that?
I feel like, all the Patriots pass catchers are going to be relatively low on just because they're so hard to nail down. Like even Josh Gordon, who has a ton of upside, obviously only played 18 offensive snaps last week, got only 2 targets. Don't see it changing much this week. I think he's still a bit hobbled.
With that said, do you guys want to kind of go into captain? Well, I mentioned the quarterbacks, but outside of the quarterbacks, for savings, I probably won't be going to. I probably won't go to the quarterbacks. That's just how I have been playing usually. But I guess other than that, who are you guys looking at MVP? We do know that after quarterback ones, the highest scoring MVPs tend to be running back ones or wide receiver ones. Or I guess that kind of is obvious, isn't it? That kind of makes sense. But wide receiver ones and then running back ones. I said that backwards.
For sure. I guess one guy I kind of want to talk about, and I guess I'm kind of jumping the gun talking about value, but we might as well get into just Zach Pascal. After T.Y. Hilton left, I mean, obviously Andrew Luck threw over 60 times the last game, but after T.Y. Hilton got hurt, Pascal got 10 targets, caught 6 of them, and a touchdown. Despite having half the targets about 9 less targets than Ryan Grant. Ryan Grant has 22. Pascal is 13. Pascal only has about 40 less air yards. His ADOT is a solid 2.5 yards higher than Ryan Grant. It's about 6 yards higher than Chester Rogers. There's a legit case to be made for maybe Zach Pascal being their number 1 wide receiver. And the fact that he's priced at $2K and then $3K obviously in the captain spot, I mean, that's just a steal. You may not need that salary, all that extra salary that frees up, but it definitely makes it super easy to get both QB1s, and you could even get Gronk in there if you want, which is a route that I don't think many people are going to go.
Yeah, I think that the way I'm moving this week is just because the Patriots, like receivers and stuff, is so hard to target. And I think a lot of people could be on James White, but I think with Edelman being back, it takes a lot away from him being the check down guy for Brady. So that's even more so reason to go to Sony Michel, just because I think the Patriots offense is just inevitably, as time goes on, as Tom Brady gets older, they're going to be taking a step back on offense. And I think they're really trying to run the ball more. So I think that drafting Sony Michel in the first round is a surprise enough for the Patriots, but they've shown in past weeks that they're really just trying to run the ball. He doesn't catch as much, but if he's going to get 20 plus carries at 7.2K, it's hard for me to get away from that, especially in the captain spot. I like him there a lot. I think the 2 plays I'm going to go in my captain spot is probably going to be Sony Michel or Naheem Hines.
I like the Sony Michel call. Definitely, this feels like a Sonny game. Last game felt like a James White game versus Miami, and it ended up turning into a Sonny game, probably because of the blowout, but also just because Sonny was effective. I mean, Christian's got it up 4.5 yards a carry. He scored a touchdown. So I think this one actually feels like a Sonny Michel game, and I'm very high on Sonny Michel in the captain spot. I mean, without Rex Burkhead, he's getting like a legit RB1's workload. That's not in the passing game, obviously, because James White's there, but a legit RB1 workload as far as carries between the tackles.
For the savings, you want to plug him in an MVP for now in our lineup on YouTube?
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. And then, like I said earlier, I mean, we're guessing that we're going to have both the quarterback ones in this game. Luck is for sure for me going to be in. We mentioned a little bit of a Brady fade, but I think that's pretty dependent on the game flow. And Brady's at home in a primetime game. It doesn't really seem like a place to fade Tom Brady to me. It just kind of seems unnecessary.
Yeah, and I think it's affordable too to play Tom Brady because we do have Zach Pascal in there. So fading Tom Brady seems super suboptimal in this matchup.
Right. Yeah. If there was a quarterback I would fade, it would be Brady, just because we saw Luck last week throw 62 times, and with Marlon Mack out yet again, I think they're just going to be passing the entire game, especially if you think of the game script and how Vegas is leaning right now. They're 10-point dogs, so they're going to be passing just a ton of. And I want as many of the pieces as I can get from the Colts. So I like Ebron, I like Hines in the passing game, and like Addy alluded to earlier, Pascal was only 2K, and he had 10 targets after T.Y. Hilton left last week.
Yeah, so obviously what you're choosing after you go both the quarterbacks is, like Taylor said, you've got all of these targets in these Colts targets in the same range. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Because you end up here, look at our price. We got 4.9K left for each position. You're obviously going to have Pascal down here at 2K, which, I mean, he's almost like a free square because of his role last week and what we saw him do. I'm surprised he wasn't priced up a little bit more just based on that, even before injuries, and everything. I'm surprised they didn't move him up. But this is kind of why what I was saying earlier, because of these Indianapolis prices. Hines is 6'6", Ebron is 6'4", Grant is 6'2", and Rodgers at 6K. You're probably going to end up how we're looking at this lineup right now with two of those guys. And so if you did want to change and go with the tournament kind of construction, you could definitely get in a guy on the New England side like an Edelman if you trust his snap count, or if you want to pay up for Gronk. If you go to Gronk, you have 3K left. So there's probably not going to be anyone there unless who's going to kick for Indianapolis if Vinatieri's out. Do we know?
They'll probably pick up a kicker, but he's the only kicker on their roster, so I think.
So
only
one on DraftKings.
Gronk almost leaves Gronk for me on this build at least. I probably won't be able to go to him. I guess because you got to pick someone under 3K, and who is there? So maybe Wilkins, I guess, if you think he gets some touches, but
right.
But that's all I was saying is I feel like so I guess maybe Gordon or Edelman if you're looking for a GVP play. But really what we're pretty much going to end up here and how our build is probably going to end up going if you have Michelle and the captain is just picking two of these Colts guys. So between all of these guys, Hines and Ebron and Grant and Rodgers on DraftKings, who do you guys prefer in this spot out of those? I guess you're choosing two out of those four. You can choose any of two.
Well, no, you can't pick Ebron and Hines, which is I think that's what I prefer. And so if you were to do that, you would probably have to swap out the captain spot and save some money and go with and put Hines there, or you put Ebron there. If Ebron was a better football player, he's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
He just drops the ball so often. He gets so many chances. Like the last 2 weeks with Doyle out, he's gotten 11 and 10 targets, yet only 5 catches per game. I don't know. If he was even a slightly better, getting 2 or 3 more catches would be huge.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole case for Ebron, just the fade on talent, which is, I mean, it's super viable. My apologies. I'm getting a call. I felt it coming early. I felt the vibration. I was trying to back out of it. But yeah, I think I like this build a lot. And I think if I had to rank these guys, I mean, we might as well just talk about them like in general. Obviously, Pascal has a much smaller sample size because T.Y. Hilton was running in front of him. But if you just take like the 3 guys, Ebron, Hines, and Grant, Ebron leads him in target. It goes Ebron, Hines, then Grant in targets. In air yards, it goes Ebron, Grant, then Hines, which makes a lot of sense because Hines is getting a bunch of checkdowns and stuff. So don't really take that too serious because his PPR floor is probably the highest out of everyone as far as great receptions.
Yeah.
Target share, Ebron leads them slightly, then Hines, then Grant. Weighted opportunity rating, Ebron leads them by a decent margin, then Grant, then Hines. So they're all kind of in that same range. Chester Rogers tied for targets with Ryan Grant at 22. That's 4th on the team. That's 4th on the team behind Hilton, like not including Hilton. 2nd in air yards with 95. His ADOT's extremely low with a 4.3 ADOT. Naheem Hines is 1.4, which really shows how much of a check down guy he is. Lower the ADOT might actually help with Andrew Luck, but we did see Andrew Luck take a few more shots downfield this game. I don't know if he'll keep that up without T.Y. Hilton. He might just revert back to check down Andrew Luck, which would definitely boost a lot of these guys from lower ADOTs, but all these ADOTs are fairly low. I mean, Ebron's 9.4, Ryan Grant 8, Chester Rogers 4.3, and Naheem Hines 1.4. I mean, just to break it down, ADOT's average depth of target, so we're really looking for typically higher upside guys will have a higher ADOT, lower higher floor guys will have a lower ADOT. So in this case, man, I think it's fairly even. I don't really think you can go wrong with too many guys. I think I like Ebron and Hines the most. But if I had to pick and we can't get Ebron, probably Hines and Grant for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really close between Grant and Chester Rogers for me. But yeah, like you were talking about earlier, I'm more apt to take these low ADOT guys in this game just because I think they're going to struggle a bit to move the ball against the Patriots. And so even though Hines' ADOT is so low, what is it? It's 1.
It's like 1.4.
Yeah, 1.4, but they're going to be highly efficient pass or targets. He's going to catch the rate that he's going to catch it at is going to be very, very high. Like last game, he caught 9 for 11, and the game before he caught 5 for 5. Week 1, he caught 7 for 9. Week 2, he caught 1 for 1. Going to be really efficient passes, and in a PPR site, that's really what you want because he's not going to rush the ball that much. His touchdown equity probably realistically isn't that high, but with T.Y. Hill now, them not being able to stretch the field all that much without him because that's really what he does. I can expect a big game from Hines and Ebron. Ebron also has a pretty short ADOT where it's
he's actually got the highest ADOT on the team at 9.4 behind Hilton.
Wow.
So we may see that stretch a little bit more with Hilton out. Maybe they use him a little bit as a deep threat. I think it's pretty safe to say Ebron seems a little more tournament-y and Hines seems more cash game. More for cash game builds. I feel like that's safe to say.
Yeah, it's just
Hines has that upside. Like Hines is probably the better play straight up. So, I mean, Hines has the tournament upside as well. We saw him score 2 touchdowns last game.
Yeah, and see, T.Y. Hilton leads the team in targets at 36, and then behind him, it's Ebron at 30, then Hines at 26, and then Grant and Rogers tied for 22. And then after that, out of all the healthy guys, it's Pascal at 13. So I think there is merit. So I was looking at it earlier. I think there is merit to fading Brady just because we think it's going to be such a run-heavy game for them. And then fitting in the guys like Hines, Ebron, Grant, Rogers, Pascal, probably getting like 4 of them with Luck and Michelle. I like that build as like too because outside of those guys, who else is not fading what?
Not fading Tom Brady. I'm not doing it. Can't do it. I had 100% Patrick Mahomes the other day, and I will have Tom Brady on every team.
Okay, but that's not the same. They don't run the ball at the same rate. This year, at least.
I know. They don't. They definitely want to take some weight off Brady's back. I get it. It's just like Tom Brady had a primetime game at home versus an Indianapolis pass defense that is like. Okay.
I mean, could you realistically see
all
any
of his targets healthy? With all of his targets back, like their targets are stacked. They got Josh Gordon, Julian Edelman, Chris Hogan, Rob Gronkowski, James White running out of the backfield.
But he still scored like 20-something points last week, and I feel like he could score this game
Oh, you're cutting out. I'm just going to pick it up. I was going to say another reason why I'm not fading Brady is because I don't think it's worth it for me. Like, I think that I don't know where else you're going to spend that money at for me. I guess you just go up from Pascal to one of the other receivers. But if you're assuming Pascal's going to be on the field as much as the other two, then what are you really doing?
You would throw Luck into the captain spot, and then you would get all of his pieces in. And I think they have super high floors just because that offense is so condensed now with T.Y. Hilton and Doyle out. Everyone's going to get – like you saw last game, everyone got like 8, 9, 10 targets. I feel like they have super high floors. So, and I don't think Brady really obviously he has upside, but he hasn't really shown it this year. And if they're planning on running the ball a lot and you want Michelle, and the game script fits perfectly if you get all Andrew Luck and the captain, all his pieces, and then Michelle on the way back. I don't know. I see that. I'm probably not going that route. I'm probably going to play Brady just because that's the most optimal thing to do. But I'm just saying that's another way you could go.
Right. It's valid. I mean, just last week we were talking about a Patriots being dead narrative. And just because they beat an overrated Miami team doesn't mean that they might not still be bad. Like, I mean, Indianapolis, they rank 2nd in the league in sacks. They're one of the better teams at generating pressure. They're 3rd in the league in adjusted sack rate. Are tied. I mean, they're 2nd in the league because the teams in 1st are tied for 1st. So I guess they're 2nd in the league in adjusted sack rate. This New England offensive line is good, though. They're 7th in the league, respectively, offensive line for their adjusted sack rate. So I don't think they'll get too much pressure. But, you know, if you want to play the Brady is bad narrative, I mean, this game did open at a 53 over-under, 58% of bets on the over.
You didn't even mention that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, yet it's dropped 2.5 points. So, I mean, I guess it's still an over-under of 50.5, and the Patriots are still expected to score 30.5 points. So, I probably wouldn't try and go with the defensive game here. But if you want to go with the Patriots run game succeeds, maybe Michelle scores 2 touchdowns. Maybe you get Gronk in. He catches both the Brady's touchdowns. And then you get all these – maybe Andrew Luck throws another 60 times, you know, and you get 10 catches apiece from all your guys. Definitely could be done.
So I guess I hopefully you guys got enough in terms of those middling targets there on the Colts to kind of fill those last 2 spots in. I was looking at this other build, obviously. Here, you don't have to do a whole lot, really. All you have to do is go to Gostowski, and then you can get another Colts target. So if you did want to go Luck over Michelle and a captain, it's really not that difficult, just so you know, just a heads up. The last thing I want to talk about is you guys see anyone – the only guy I see down here other than Pascal worth targeting? And usually you only need one of them. So just going to put that out there. All these guys are about to talk about, they're probably just tournament plays because we have Pascal, who seems like an obvious cash play. But if you are going to one of these guys down here, it seems like the only one is probably Jordan Wilkins, who even in a game that might be game flow negative for the Colts in the run game, Wilkins is still going to be the guy who is going to be on the field in the first 2 downs or on non-passing downs. Is going to be Wilkins from what I know, unless you guys know anything differently.
I don't think there's any reason with all the 6K. Usually, there's not really players in the 6K range that you want on showdowns, but this game is just there's an abundance of them.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm not on the Brady fade too for cash. But I agree. I agree with you. That's why I said no. But I of course it makes sense.
Right. I could almost bet that Wilkins will get more carries than Hines, and I'm not sure if he's out there on the goal line. I would imagine he is out there on the goal line, so he could still get you a sneaky touchdown. Hines is really out there just to pass block and being involved in the passing game. But yeah, no, I can see Wilkins he would have to get lucky for a touchdown.
Oh, here we go. My bad. I just saw in that blurb actually that Turbin is returning this week. So I wonder. You'll have to kind of watch inactives, I guess, to see if he's active or not.
Mm-hmm.
If he's active, then I think Wilkins probably dead. For me, because I think they.
Yeah, I don't think it does anything to Hines though.
No, Hines is pretty set in. It seems like because neither of those guys can really catch the ball or do a whole lot. Addy, you agree?
Yeah, I agree. One last thing I kind of want to say though is just Chris Hogan is 4.8K.
Yeah.
I mean, his role on this team is dead. It's blasphemous. The fact that Edelman's coming back isn't good for him. Josh Gordon getting more snaps isn't good for him. Even though Josh Gordon getting snaps doesn't really affect him, it affects Philip Dorsett the most. If you read what Christian just highlighted, he was still on the field for 70 of the team's 81 snaps. He's out there, and more importantly, he's running routes. He leads them in routes run. So he's out there. It's just a matter of time before Tom Brady peppers him with maybe a 10-target game. And if Chris Hogan gets 10 targets at 4.8K, and you told everyone playing this showdown slate that in advance, he'd be 100% owned. So he's really just a play on just some massive regression coming his way. And he's not due for it, sort of just like a coach speak, quarterback speak regression. Let me get this guy going because he's important for us in the long run. And I could see that being the week. I mean, it could be it. And he's cheaper than all these Indianapolis receivers. And talent-wise, I mean, he's just so much better than them. So, we at least what we know. We don't know too much about these Indianapolis guys, so I don't want to we don't want to give Chester Rogers and Ryan Grant too much credit yet. But we've seen Chris Hogan be very good in this league. So for 4.8K, I'm gonna have some shares in him. I'm gonna take some shots on him, just getting back to form.
Yeah, I think this just proves even more that Brady could be just taking a huge step back. I mean, I think I saw that he leads the team with a 13.7 ADOT.
Right, yeah, he does have the
Chris Hogan. Yeah. And most of his routes are deeper down the field, and that's why his targets are so low, just because Brady's not really looking there. That's why James White is having such a stellar year, is just because
Dorsett too.
And Dorsett. It's just because the guys that are eating this year, their ADOTs are really low for the Patriots. So guys like that, even Josh Gordon, that's why I'm kind of pessimistic on Josh Gordon being there, just because I don't know if Brady can even get him the ball down the field, just because he hasn't shown it in 4 weeks so far this year. I know it's only 4 weeks, but
Brady in 4 weeks, Brady has not thrown for 300 yards and he has 4 interceptions.
It's weird, man. It's really weird. It's hard to say that a dynasty is coming to an end, but it just feels like it. Even though they beat the Dolphins last week 38-7, Dolphins aren't very good, despite them being 3-1, 3-0 before that game.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, I like, if I was gonna pick any of the guys, I think it'd be on the Patriots, it'd be James White or maybe Edelman, if you want to take a chance on that. Just someone with a low ADOT.
Yeah.
But that's why we like Michelle so much, just because they're trying to run the ball more. But yeah.
Yeah, that's why Brady's pass attempts are down too. I mean, you can see that. I think the highest was last week. No, he actually threw 39 in week 1. So, I mean, no crazy. Brady is the entire team is on Brady's back type games this year. Just to real quick wrap it up, our analysis in the captain, we're probably looking at Luck or Brady or
Michelle or Hines?
Michelle, yeah, excuse me, Michelle or and then what I was also going to say that he's in my lineup. Zach Pascal opens up a lot of salary. I don't really think you need it, but just if you do need the salary for some reason, if you want to jam these high price guys in, maybe putting Pascal in captain can help out. We know he's going to be on the field. You know he's going to get some targets, so he's pretty safe for that. He's a much better 2K play than we have seen in these showdowns. I mean, for a while, I can't remember the last 2K.
Way better.
So
he's the best. He's the best 2K play we've had.
Yeah,
ever.
So.
Yeah, that we've seen. Yeah, for sure.
So. Huerman was pretty sick though.
Who was?
Yeah.
Huerman or Hireman. Hireman was pretty sick.
I thought you were gonna say Jeff Swain was pretty sick.
Hey, Jeff Swain was 200.
He hasn't even been that bad in the other games.
No,
it was just like the best matchup against the Giants. He does nothing.
He's never going to die, Jeff Swain, MVP. All right, yo. And then other options outside of those, obviously we've got Zach Pascal 2K we just talked about, but then in the middle, you're going to have all these receivers. Ryan Grant, Chester Rogers is in there. Chris Hogan is GVP play, but also Nyheim Hines and Eric Ebron above that. So those are kind of the guys. Obviously, the kickers are in play. Make sure you check on Vinatieri before lock. If you need the salary, those guys are always in play. So, all right. If you want to know what we're playing, what Taylor's going to be putting out, he makes the final lineups. So locksdfs.com is where they will be, and you can buy a pass. We have month passes. We have week passes. So you can try us out. So locksdfs.com and at locksdfs on Twitter. Also, don't forget, if you like the video, if you're going to use our plays, you can use our advice. We definitely appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, and if you like the video, it helps us out a lot. And everyone who checked us out, we appreciate you checking us out and listening to our advice. So we hope to see you back here. We'll probably do another one of these. Well, we'll do a week 4 preview. We'll have Taylor's videos. You can obviously watch Addie's GBP videos, all kinds of content for you guys. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.